Good morning, everyone. Paul Rupel here with Fox 29 News Now. Happy Friday, you made it. We are here in the city of brotherly love. You're looking at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway with the Philadelphia Museum of Art in the distance. Let's get you a quick check of your weather at the moment. Right now it's a cool 53 degrees outside. Dew point is 36. We still have strong winds out there. Winds out of the northwest at 18 miles per hour currently. That's sustained winds. We'll get you a full look at weather in a little bit, but let's show you one thing that could impact our weather later to start off the new week. There's a 90% chance that this becomes Tropical Storm Nestor right now in the Gulf of Mexico and headed towards Florida. Could have an impact on our weather later in the week. We'll show you more about that in a little while. In the meantime, let's start off with some national news. New fighting has broken out in Syria. So what happened to the 5-day ceasefire that the administration announced yesterday? Fox's Doug Luzader from Washington has more on what comes next.
There's been renewed fighting overnight in Syria despite a U.S. brokered ceasefire deal that was supposed to last 5 days.
President Trump had hoped the agreement would at least temporarily end the violence after his decision to pull out U.S. forces.
What a busy day yesterday, Doug Luzader.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, it's pretty evident at this point that this ceasefire deal is not working out as intended.
The fighting in northern Syria has resumed, if on a smaller scale than we've recently seen there, and that may offer some important clues about what's really happening on the ground.
It would be a lot more bombing and smoke if this was Turkish tanks or aircraft, but it looks like it may be their proxies, the Free Syrian Army, making trouble in that disputed region around Ras Al Ain.
Still, this is not the progress that President Trump had been hoping to see when he told a huge crowd at a campaign rally in Texas last night that the ceasefire was a success.
Sometimes you have to let them fight. It's like two kids in a lot. You got to let them fight, and then you pull them apart.
Turkey and the United States of America have agreed to a ceasefire in Syria.
Vice President Mike Pence had been dispatched to Turkey to help broker a 5-day deal, hoping that it would stick. The latest violence will only ramp up criticism of the administration's decision to pull out of northern Syria just before Turkey began attacking Kurdish forces that had been U.S. allies.
What we have done to the Kurds will stand as a blood stain in the annals of American history.
And that's what's complicated for the White House here, the fact that there are critics among Democrats, of course, but there are a lot of Republicans who are not too pleased about this. Mike and Alex.
No. All right, Doug, what a beautiful sunrise you have, man. And we'll see you Monday, 7:12 now.
Thank you to Doug for that report. Take a live look at the White House here. President Trump, of course, held a rally in Dallas last night. That's what Doug was referring to. Using his Keep America Great Again hashtag, Keep America Great, I should say, 2020. The president tweeted last night from the event, or after the event, Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, open borders, late-term abortion, socialism, and blatant corruption. The Republican Party is the party of the American worker, the American family, and the American dream. So that being the president's platform there, and the argument he's hoping to make to the American people to seek re-election. He also tweeted, "Tonight we forcefully condemn the blatant corruption of the Democrat Party, the fake news media, and the rogue bureaucrats of the deep state. The only message these radicals will understand is a crushing defeat on November 3rd, 2020. All right, let's get you a look at business headlines right now. It's the most popular day to say I do. Why the biggest wedding day of the year is this weekend. Fox Business Network's Tracy Carrasco has this one.
Hey, are you attending a wedding this Saturday? That'd be tomorrow, right?
That's tomorrow.
Well, apparently there are a lot of people who are having their wedding ceremony tomorrow. Why, Tracy? Why tomorrow?
Yes. Saturday, October 19th, according to The Knot and Wedding Wire, those are two wedding websites, they've found that it's the most popular day of the year for weddings. Unclear exactly why, but they've noticed that fall weddings have been increasing in popularity over the last few years. More people choosing to get married in the fall. My guess would be that a lot of people get engaged around Christmas or New Year's, and then or maybe even Valentine's Day. And then looking ahead to the future, that amount of time is a pretty good amount of time to plan a wedding. So October, if you get married or if you get engaged in December, it's a good solid chunk of time to plan a wedding. That's my guess. But according to these websites, 4.3 million guests will attend nearly 34,000 weddings tomorrow. So this is going to be a big day, and about 475,000 wedding vendors around the country will be helping put these events on.
Oh, it's going to be a busy, busy Saturday. Now I feel left out. If that many people are going to weddings, I don't have a wedding to go to.
I'm not going to a wedding tomorrow.
Okay, good. So we're like the only two who aren't going to one, but at least we don't have to bring a gift.
Maybe I'll just get married tomorrow.
Yeah, put it together. Can you do it that quickly?
Yeah.
Invite us.
First, you need someone to marry. Do you have someone to marry?
I've got the rest of the day.
Well, correction. Someone who's willing to marry you.
Well, that's the problem right there. Tracy, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
You too.
Thanks, Tracy.
Bye.
The stock market is currently down about 1/4 percentage point it's down 61 points. Dow Jones Industrial at 26,963. The top story at foxbusiness.com right now is Apple CEO Tim Cook meets with China amid Hong Kong app controversy. It's apparently a secret meeting. Unexpected at the least. As I was saying, Apple CEO Tim Cook met with a Chinese regulator days after the tech giant removed an app that tracked the movements of Hong Kong police. Apple has not said what the meeting was about. Cook was in Beijing for an annual meeting at Tsinghua University. Apologies if I mispronounced that. He meets with Chinese regulators multiple times per year. Apple back on October 9th removed the HKmap.live app, which allowed Hong Kong pro-democracy protesters to track police. They took that from the App Store after an op-ed in the state-run People's Daily called out the tech giant. So that's your top business story right now at foxbusiness.com. Before we move away from national news, let's get you a look at some history being made right now. NASA astronauts are making their history with their first all-female spacewalk right now. NASA astronauts Christina Koch and Jessica Meyer have made history with this first all-female spacewalk. It started earlier this morning at 7:38 a.m. So they're 2.5 hours into their workday there outside the space station. That's when the two set their spacesuits to battery power. This is the beginning. They'll be making a 5.5-hour excursion outside the International Space Station to replace a failed power controller, NASA tweeted. NASA originally wanted to do this last spring, but did not have enough medium-sized suits ready to go. The two astronauts were supposed to install more new batteries in a spacewalk next week, but had to venture out 3 days earlier to deal with an equipment failure that occurred over the weekend. Koch is 7 months into an 11-month mission that will be the longest ever by a woman. Nancy Pelosi was tweeting about this. She said, NASA has captured the imaginations of the world for generations. Congratulations to the two astronauts for leaving their mark on history with today's all-woman spacewalk. Hashtag there. You're an inspiration to women and girls across America. NASA's website says the first all-woman spacewalk is a milestone worth noting and celebrating as the agency looks forward to putting the first woman and next man on the moon by 2024 with NASA's Artemis lunar exploration program. Initial mission capability for 2024 involves landing 2 astronauts on the moon's south pole. Astronauts will live and work out of the lander for 6.5 days, according to NASA. So pretty neat stuff there. So let's get you that promised look at your weather forecast. We've got cloudy skies outside our studios right now. I just happen to see our camera moving around. Quite overcast right now. And here you'll see the overcast skies over the Benjamin Franklin Parkway and off into the distance. Quick look at the weekend forecast here for you. Saturday 62, Sunday 63. So we're moving into some cool fall temperatures. Let's get you a look at ultimate Doppler radar. All quiet there. But not in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's show you ultimate Doppler again, the wider view of the Gulf of Mexico here. You can see the tropical storm brewing. There is, as the National Hurricane Center says right now, a 90% chance that this becomes Tropical Storm Nestor. And we'll keep an eye out to see if that happens while we're here. Right now this is just potential Tropical Cyclone 16. National Weather Service says there's a danger of life-threatening storm surge, inundation of up to 5 feet above ground level beginning today along the Florida Gulf Coast from Indian Pass to Clearwater. And Clearwater, of course, being where our Phillies conduct their spring training. Tropical storm force winds are likely by later today along portions of the central and eastern Gulf Coast where tropical storm warnings are in effect. Isolated flash flooding is possible along the central and eastern Gulf Coast and southeastern United States from today through Saturday. Since soils across the southeast are dry, the risk of flash flooding will be confined to the immediate coast where heavier rainfall is possible. So the latest track for this seems to be taking it off the coast, exiting around the, if you're looking at the cone of probability. Actually, let's do it this way. We'll circle back to our local weather in a little bit, but let's take a look at the long-range FUTURECAST, and that should show us the impacts on our area for later this week. There you see the storm moving north, coming ashore later tonight, or maybe into Saturday. Looks like it takes a little hiccup there, then comes north, starts to impact our area on Sunday morning. It slides to our south, but brings some rain to our day on Saturday before moving out Sunday night. So with that in mind, let's take a look at current conditions right now. Temperatures were in the 50s, most areas. Mount Pocono just 42 right now. I believe there is a frost advisory for tonight for much of our northern suburbs. I know as far south as northern Montco. Get you some details on that. Northeast temperatures, 50s and 40s for the most part, 50s closer to the coast. Mix of green and blues there. Still at 85 down in Miami, that's the hot spot. But we've got some green across the southeast and up into the central plains. Areas of blue over the Rockies and the northern plains and the west coast. 50s out west. Cool spot right now is at Salt Lake City at 41, looks like. But almost equally cold weather in Cincinnati and Detroit right now. As far as our temperature, it feels almost exactly as it did yesterday, temperature-wise. We do still have some strong winds, though. Look at that, 25 mile per hour sustained winds in Mount Pocono, 18 in Philly. Gust to 43 in Mount Pocono right now. 20s elsewhere. And that's making the wind chill feel like the freezing point in Mount Pocono. Elsewhere, we're mostly in the 50s still. Visibility is good despite the overcast skies. And there you see some of the cloud cover on satellite. Let's get you that look at our 24-hour FUTURECAST. See that storm to our south. All that low pressure off the coast there. Rain out at sea. High pressure in charge for us at the moment. Here comes your 7-day forecast from the Fox 29 Weather Authority. Calling it an 8 on our forecast by the numbers today. Sunny and breezy, just 59 for a high. Quite a bit below average. Saturday, sunny and nice, 62. Overnight low of 41, so we will have some spots that have frost advisories. I'll read you some of that in a moment. Monday, sunny and cloudy, 70. Oops, I skipped over Sunday. So the weekend, sunny and nice Saturday, 62. Then we have Sunday, the late showers, 63. That's our chance of seeing some of the remnants of what could be Nestor, especially in southern portions of our viewing area. But most of the day is nice. It looks like a 7 on our forecast by the numbers. Monday, sunny and clouds. We get back to 70. Shower chance on Tuesday, 68. Wednesday looks sunny and cooler, 62. Thursday looks sunny and nice, 2 ticks warmer at 64. Our temperature trend is a little bit below average. We're going to get to average or above at least twice in the 10 days here. But most of those marks are in the blue, below our average of about 66 degrees right now. Let me see if I can find you the area of that frost advisory. There we go. That's southern tip there near Philadelphia is into northern Montgomery County. And the National Weather Service tweeted this. A frost advisory is in effect for parts of eastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey from late tonight into Saturday morning. Pocono region is not included since the growing season has already ended. They've already gotten their frost there. So we'll keep an eye on the forecast for you and get you the latest as we track what could be Nestor making a run up the eastern seaboard. All right, let's get you to some local news now. No pun intended. Here again are those cloudy skies outside our studios. We'll start with a medical situation in Delaware County. Parents in Ridley Township are on high alert. There's a mumps warning. School officials at Ridley High School sent out a letter this week informing parents that a student has the mumps. The letter went on to say exposure may have occurred in the last few weeks. Symptoms of the mumps include swollen glands, head and ear aches, and low-grade fevers. And you can still get the mumps even if you have been vaccinated.
I am a little bit nervous, especially for my little ones, and then I got one in high school. So none of the high schoolers are allowed to go to the elementary schools, my daughter told me. Like, they have peer students from the high school that go to the elementary schools, and they're not allowed there because of the mumps breakout. And I said, well, what about all the kids that sisters and brothers live? Like, what makes a difference? So it's stressful. I don't want anybody to get mumps in my house or anybody's house.
if you're unsure about your child's vaccinations, the best thing to do is contact your doctor. All right, our Steve Keeley was on this one this morning. Another Friday, another Eagles weekend. The Birds take on the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday for an 8:20 game. The teams are going head-to-head in Dallas. Dozens of Green Legion fans are flying out of Philly this morning to head over and support the Birds. But there's good and bad news to share. Fletcher Cox practiced yesterday, but wide receiver Deshaun Jackson did not. First place in the division is on the line as both teams are 3-3. So we had a little bit of fun with a fella in an Ezekiel Elliott jersey this morning on Good Day outside our studios. I caught the tail end of that on my way into the office this morning. Always try and get you pumped up for the game. Hopefully we'll be celebrating a victory on Monday. Mondays are always a little bit nicer when we're celebrating a game, especially if it could vault the Eagles back into first place, as they're tied currently. Going to be a lot of question marks if they don't pull it out, but we're hoping for a win, and we're hoping to celebrate that with you on Good Day Monday morning. Eagles fans certainly travel. They make their way everywhere. All right, this was our top story yesterday. Let's start with some sound here from a pastor.
He understands that someone has lost their life. I mean, that's a very difficult thing to live with.
No matter what the verdict.
No matter what the verdict. And he's got to live with this for the rest of his life.
Yes, thank God for justice on our side.
The trial to put a spotlight on race and self-defense in Philadelphia is over. Michael White has been found not guilty of voluntary manslaughter. White admitted to stabbing a Philadelphia real estate developer to death last summer, claiming self-defense. White's defense team argued that Sean Skellinger was drunk and on drugs when he attacked White after a traffic dispute in Rittenhouse Square. Skellinger's family is outraged. His mother stood up in court and demanded District Attorney Larry Krasner be arrested for obstruction of justice.
He has blood on his hands, just like Michael White. My son has already received a life sentence, and so have all of we.
He is a bad man. He is a criminal, and he is a crook, and he deserves to be in prison.
Yes, thank God for justice on our side.
White was found guilty of evidence tampering for tossing the knife he used in the stabbing. The two folks you heard there from were Mrs. Skellinger, the victim's mother, and Justin Skellinger, the victim's brother. We had attorney William Brendan in to help us break down the result of this case. We'll get you to that in a little bit. We have it here.
Let's bring in attorney William Brennan to talk about this case. What was the original charge even before the trial?
I think he was originally charged with general murder, which includes first degree, third degree, and the lesser included manslaughter offenses.
And then just before the trial, it was reduced to voluntary manslaughter.
I think we missed a step, though. I think that it was initially general, which included first, and then it went from first to third.
Exactly.
And then on the eve of trial, the district attorney elected to ask Judge Bronson to allow the prosecution to go forward based solely on voluntary manslaughter.
And so now that we have this verdict, this is why a lot of people have a lot of questions, because they're wondering, okay, would this have happened if the district attorney left it at first-degree murder or third-degree murder?
We'll never know, but each individual entity in the justice system plays a role, and the prosecution charges and elects which charges to proceed on. And in this case, the Philadelphia district attorney, for some reason, saw fit to go forward solely on voluntary manslaughter.
After looking at the evidence that they had.
Presumably so.
Yeah, presumably so. So if they get a not guilty on voluntary manslaughter, wouldn't it be tougher to get a verdict of guilty on first degree or third degree murder?
Well, there's differences in proof. Any type of murder requires malice. Apparently, the district attorney's office didn't feel that malice, which is defined in the law as a hardness of heart, a wickedness of disposition. It's kind of a thing where you know it when you see it. Apparently, they didn't feel there was malice here. Manslaughter, of which in this case it was the subset of voluntary manslaughter, can be one of two things. It can be a sudden, intense passion where you intentionally take a human life, but you have not formed malice, and that is how they proceeded.
And it didn't look like that was the case. He didn't go there to kill him. It all happened so fast at 17th and Chancellor.
Mike, this case, 10 seconds either way in these two guys' lives, and the food would have got delivered, and these gentlemen in the Mercedes would have been to their location, and this tragedy would have been averted.
Had Sean stayed another few minutes, or a minute longer at Rouge, where he was having dinner and cocktails, it wouldn't have happened. It's amazing how seconds can change people's lives.
It's amazing. Because one thing that was agreed with both sides is that their lives will be changed forever.
Absolutely.
And no one really wins in this case. But we do know when it comes to tampering with evidence, he was found guilty of that. Michael White was. So what does that mean now moving forward?
What did he do? He threw the knife away?
He threw the knife away. He ran from the scene and threw the knife away. And then I believe there was some text or with his phone. He wasn't trying to hand over his phone.
He tried to block the cops.
Well, the single charge that the defendant was convicted on is a misdemeanor of the second degree. It's the second lowest charge in the Commonwealth. The maximum penalty is 2 years in prison. The guidelines recommend probation. Judge Bronson is an extremely fair judge. I've tried a lot of cases with him. I think that he probably will honor the guidelines.
What do you, and I haven't seen the tape, the cell phone video apparently that they showed in court, which was very difficult, of course, for the family to watch. You think it came down to that?
But most likely, the fact that someone recorded the actual event, the actual interaction between these two men on video, and the jury got to see it, probably spoke volumes. My understanding is that the video showed the defendant brandishing a knife and the decedent running towards him, and they got into a physical altercation, and at the end of that, the decedent had a knife in his back.
Can this be appealed at all, or is this it? It's been done?
Well, when you're found not guilty, it's over.
Okay,
so that's
the family, because they're still very emotional, and understandably,
well, it's a
there's
tragedy.
nothing that can be done.
It's a terrible situation, but not every tragedy is a crime.
When the mother stands up in court and says that Larry Krasner, district attorney, should be arrested for obstruction of justice, does that charge even exist in something like this?
I mean, I think that's very unlikely.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to Mrs. Skellinger.
Yeah.
She lost a son. Certainly, we can all understand her grief and her passion, but I think it's extremely unlikely, all but impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Mr. Krasner has any issue there.
I can understand her emotion, of course.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It is.
Thank you to Mr. Brennan for coming in to provide that legal analysis and talk through the case with us. In other local news, this story comes to us from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Robbers ambushed a business owner making a deposit, and they get away with nearly $200,000. That's according to police. This happened in the parking lot of the TD Bank on Street Road in Bensalem 2 weeks ago. Bank surveillance video shows two cars pull up on each side of the victim's car. We blurred the victim's car, but keep an eye on the blue Honda CR-V. Someone from that blue Honda walks up to the passenger window of the victim's car and swipes a duffel bag. Inside was $182,000. There's the video I was just mentioning. Inside was $182,000. Why did the victim have that much cash? Police say the person works in retail and deals with a lot of cash and was probably targeted and followed to the bank.
That poor person. That poor person.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money to lose.
Would you travel with that kind of money?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's way too much money to have on you.
If you think you recognize the blue Honda CR-V or the gold-colored SUV, please give Ben Salem Police a call. Two brothers down on their luck have been charged with setting a fire in their old business to collect insurance money. It was a massive blaze last year that took out many businesses and homes. Raging flames could be seen from miles away. This is in Old City, not too far from our studios. The fire was at 2nd and Chestnut around 3 a.m. The U.S. attorney charged two brothers, Imad and Bahab Dawara, saying they had owed more than $64,000 in rent, and they were eventually evicted. And on that same day, documents allege Dawara bought an insurance policy in the event of an accidental fire.
Imad Dawara allegedly threatened the landlord that he would destroy the place if the landlord attempted to evict the brothers.
Investigators say the men used gasoline to start the fire in the basement. Officers arrested the brothers at Philadelphia International Airport. They face 10 charges, including conspiracy to commit arson. We have some fresh video here. New video shows the moment the flames broke out at the oil refinery in June. Surveillance video from inside the refinery shows a chemical vapor cloud growing, and then it explodes into flames. Excuse me, I'm showing you the wrong video here. Let me show you that now. New video shows the moment the flames broke out at the oil refinery. The surveillance video shows from inside the refinery shows a chemical vapor cloud growing, and then it explodes into flames. There it is. The plant is shut down, taking more than 1,000 jobs with it. The Chemical Safety Board is still investigating. Pretty wild. In Bucks County, there's new legislation aimed at keeping kids safe. It's called Caden's Law in honor of 7-year-old Caden Mancuso. She died at the hands of her father in a murder-suicide in August of last year.
For this tragedy, I wanted everyone to know about
Senator
my daughter.
State
Listen to
Santosario
what happened to her.
held
Listen to my
a
repetitive
hearing in Lower
disclosures of the
Makefield
systemic
yesterday.
failures my daughter endured.
He wants to
I
stop
have and will
parents
continue
with
to
a
mention
history of
those who could
violence
have done something.
from having access to their children. Caden's mom says she begged and pleaded in court for her daughter's safety, but the law failed her.
And every time a child is killed, those trying to figure out where the system failed will go back to these communities where these tragedies occurred and ask what has been done to change or prevent what happened. And the answer is always nothing. Waiting for change, praying for change, with hope that no one ever has to bury a 7-year-old, that one more child doesn't become the next Caden.
Caden's mom says the bill would have saved her daughter's life and could save so many more. In Ocean County, New Jersey, a school bus driver is accused of driving under the influence with 30 kids on board. Berkeley Township Police say 64-year-old Anthony Rodriguez, who was currently at the Clara B. Worth Elementary School in Bayville, was seen driving erratically yesterday afternoon. School staff investigated and immediately took his bus off the route and moved the kids to another bus. Police discovered he was under the influence and he was arrested, they say. He's currently in the Ocean County Jail pending a detention hearing at last report. Not seeing the video for this story, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. Governors from our area came together to tackle the issue of cannabis and vaping. They had a summit yesterday. This involved governors from New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut. They discussed ways to regulate vaping and work toward marijuana legalization. The governors say ultimately their goal is to collaborate on some kind of legislation. What they don't want is people traveling across state lines just to get vaping products or marijuana. Governor Phil Murphy told us, we've got an exploding vaping reality among youth, which has become an enormous challenge, health and beyond, we all share. And Governor Tom Wolf told us we need to bring this into the open. We need regulation. We need to make sure we're protecting our public health and public safety, and that's regulation, not prohibition. There's no word yet on what action or steps will be taken next, but we'll certainly keep you in the loop on that. All right, well, I get you a couple other videos for stories that I'm not seeing available here. We'll take another look at weather. Again, our current temperature is 53 degrees. The dew point is 36. The wind's out of the northwest at 18 miles per hour. There's our potential next rainmaker on Sunday. The tropical depression. It could become a storm. It could become Nestor, in fact, brewing in the Gulf of Mexico. Going to bring storm surge as high as 5 feet and some tropical storm force winds, perhaps to the Florida coast on the Gulf Coast side. In the meantime, it's pretty quiet. Things are pretty quiet here in our area. Nothing to show you on Ultimate Doppler from the last 3 hours. Current temperatures are in the 50s most places, just 41 in Mount Pocono. And these temperatures aren't much of a deviation from the same hour yesterday, just a degree or two off. Across the country, got temperatures ranging from 87 now in Miami down to 41 in Salt Lake City. Story is the winds right now for us in the teens most places, with gusts into the 20, 30, or even 40 miles per hour range. That's actually making it feel like 2 degrees below freezing right now in Mount Pocono. Real feel on your skin there. Visibility remains good, and we have a little bit of cloud cover in the city right now. Let's take a look at the surface FUTURECAST here. High pressure in charge today. Again, we've got that risk of precipitation from what could be Nestor to come this weekend. Let's show you that. Here it is moving, starting to bring some shower to the Gulf Coast, moving onshore Saturday. Taking a little pause there. Getting to North Carolina and taking another one, and it looks like moving out to sea from there. So we could see some rain across southern portions of our viewing area while that's going on. Temperatures will be right around the average mark, a little bit below over the next couple days. We'll get above the average 2 or 3 times. And your 7-day forecast from the Fox 29 Weather Authority again. We're at 59 and sunny and breezy today. That's our expected high. 8 on our forecast by the numbers. Things look sunny and nice for the walk to end Alzheimer's on Saturday, 62. Sunday looks late showers, 63. That's okay. We'll probably all be, many of us, watching the Eagles on Sunday night, taking on the Cowboys in Dallas. Monday, sun and clouds, 70 degrees. Tuesday, shower chance, 68. Wednesday, sunny, cooler, 62. And Thursday, sunny, nice, 64. Remember to get the Fox 29 Weather Authority app. Keep abreast of the latest weather changes and get your hourly forecast, get severe weather alerts. We do have one to tell you about right now. We do have a frost advisory, I believe this was. Yes, in effect for parts of eastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey from late tonight into early Saturday morning. Pocono region's not included since their growing season already ended. They already got some frost there. Again, that's according to the National Weather Service in Mount Holly. So it dips as far as northern Montgomery County there, parts of maybe Bucks County, upper Bucks County, and then west it looks like Lancaster County on over. So be aware if you have plants outside that you wanted to keep growing or need to bring the hoses in and get them inside before things start freezing up. Frost advisory tonight for parts of our area. And as I mentioned, our app is available in the Apple, iTunes, and Google Play stores. Here's how the skies look outside our studio right now at 4th and Market Streets in Old City. Let's get you a look at how things are in your neck of the woods with our Fox 29 Weather Metrics cameras coming at you right now. Oh, that's still Philly. Let me clear this here. Playing it out on the wrong channel. Now we're good to go. Here comes Allentown, Pennsylvania. Nice shot there of Allentown. I don't know if I've seen it from this angle. And the next one will pop up without my name behind it. And now we've panned the camera downward so you'll be able to get a look at street level here in Old City. Let's take another look at history in the making here. This is the NASA spacewalk. Let's this time turn the sound up so we can maybe catch some of the communication between the astronauts outside and NASA.
Backside of the new unit only.
Okay, copy. Copy that. Looking at the fins in the IEA, I don't see any thawed or bent fins. Yes, I just reported all that side. I think we're good there. Okay. We are ready for next step.
Yeah, so with the old unit, Christina stowed on your BRT and you're happy with that positioning, then receive the new unit from Jessica. And Christina, you will present it to Jessica for the inspection of the backside of the new box.
You heard the two names there, Christina and Jessica, and that's why this is history making. They are the first all-female, they're conducting the first all-female spacewalk. This started at 7:38 this morning, is expected to go for 5.5 hours, so that puts it about 1 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. For astronaut Jessica Meyer, she became the 228th person in the world to conduct a spacewalk, and she's the 15th woman. This is familiar territory to Christina Koch, as she has done a spacewalk before. At 7:38, the time that they marked the start of the spacewalk is when the two astronauts switched to battery power. They're replacing a failed power controller. Let's listen in again for a little bit.
Okay, so I think that's how I have it right now, right? Yep, that's how you have it. That's perfect. So if you're able to keep the fins, what I want to make sure of is that the fins either face outboard or up while you hand it off to me. And then, so I wonder if my hand is just to your right. Are you able to put the fins outboard and then me each two in the hand that is right here? I think so. Okay, perfect. Okay, go. Click. There we go. All right. So we'll do the BRT or a rep swap. You have your hands, since I have control of the battery, if you would like, feel free to do the rep swap. I wonder if you can even one from me and put it on the unit. Okay, I might be able to get it. Or we can just leave it ready to you, actually. I don't see why not. You're not going anywhere. Yeah. Let's do that. I agree. Okay, so let's get that out of your BRT. Put my BRT down. Nice. And I'm going to need to get out of your way. Do you have a good hand on it? I do. I have control, and I'm going to present the bottom side of it to you. So I've got. Did you want to put your BRT down still? I'm going to put it down, but I released it so I could get away. I was too close. Gotcha. Okay.
So interesting to see two of our nation's best and brightest at work here outside the International Space Station. That's quite an office to have for the day, right? All right, let's get you to another story from Good Day Philadelphia this morning.
I'll try and face the sensors towards you and move them out a little bit so you can see them better. Yeah. Yep, I've got a good view. Fins are all good.
Risk over reward. Newborn baby photos may look cute, but it's actually can be dangerous for your child. What you need to know before having a photographer take photos of your newborn. This was a topic we discussed on Good Day Philadelphia this morning. And we'll show you that now.
You lovely ladies. One is a pediatrician, the other professional photographer. Her specialty is taking pictures of babies who might be 10 days old. Cute photographs like this. Every time I see a photograph like that, I go, you get the, ooh, ah, it's so cute. I had no idea until a couple of days ago that these pictures can be dangerous for the child. So Dr. Judy Larkin, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
And professional photographer Donna Gratzinger is
sir.
here. Thank you both for being here. So what we're going to do is, first we're going to explain why some of these poses are somewhat unsafe for babies, right? And then you're going to show us how to take a safe picture of a child who's maybe 10 days old.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the first pose that we see a lot is the froggy pose. Now, why would that be a little unsafe, doctor?
So first of all, no newborn can do this. So obviously newborns don't have real good head control. They also would not be able to prop up like that. So the first thing is you want to make sure that the airway is not occluded. If a baby is posed in some kind of position like that, and again, it doesn't represent what a newborn can do.
Okay, how would you take the froggy photo and make it safe?
Well, I do take the froggy photo and make it safe. This is actually my photo that I took with a 7-day-old baby.
Then how did you do it?
Well,
go around front and show me.
This is my...
By the way, it's not a real baby.
This is
Dolly.
Stunt
Baby.
We brought Stunt Baby today. So the way we do this pose safely is we do it on a posing bag.
That's a posing bag?
This is what we call a posing bag.
What is it? Just a bean bag under there?
It's just a bean bag. Yeah. We do it on a posing bag, and we use what we call posing beans underneath that help support the baby underneath, as well as what I'm going to show you. This is an advanced pose. It really should only be done by a professional, trained, hands-on trained professional.
Okay, we need to speed this up because this baby's going to be one before we get this done.
Okay, so once we have baby in position, and typically I'm working baby in position before she goes on the beanbag, before she goes on this. Yeah, you got me calling it a beanbag. So then we place baby right in between the posing beans that are already set here.
Doctor, you liking what you're seeing here?
This is a soft surface. The baby's on its belly. In the picture, the baby had its eyes closed, so presumably the baby is sleeping. And, during this kind of photography session, the photographer may be able to keep the baby safe, but it kind of normalizes some unsafe things.
Well, actually, what I heard, too, is they take two different shots and meld them together.
So the hands never leave the baby. This is what we call, we do this pose as a composite. And a composite is a combination of multiple images that we put together in post-processing to make the image.
So you get rid of your hands.
So Mike, if you come over here, what I would do is I'm holding baby in position here. Mike, I have you, my assistant, you hold supporting the head.
Right.
And then I'll take this shot.
And then superimpose them.
And then,
Okay,
and then
let's
I
go
have
to the next pose.
Yep.
This is called suspended. Now, what do we we'll put a picture of suspended? What do you like and not like about that, Doc?
So the baby's head is at a funny angle, and the baby is on a soft surface and kind of crunched up a little bit. And again, to me, that looks like it would be unsafe position, unsafe surface that the baby is on.
All right, let's try it here. How will we make this safe? So you put this little sling here.
So the first thing we do, I'm just showing you a simple version, is there's a posing bean behind the baby.
Oh, I feel that.
In any suspended photo, baby is never suspended anywhere. They're always either on the floor or on a bean bag. So we take baby.
So a lot of this is trick photography.
Yeah, and it's also camera angle too. There's a lot of it. A lot of it is the angle. We can make it look like this baby. So basically, place them in the sling, and we clip this up here.
Again, you constantly have supported the baby's head and limbs.
And again, this can be done, most times this is done as a composite.
Okay.
There's a supporting beam behind the baby, there's a supporting beam in front of the baby.
Okay,
so
again,
the baby
it's trick
doesn't
photography.
roll.
Let's go on to the last one here, which is potato sack. There's potato sack. Doc?
So lots of soft things surrounding this baby, which we have gotten away from putting anything soft in a baby bed.
Mhm.
And baby's in an upright position. I don't think a baby would ever really sleep in an upright position like that.
I do.
And, well, it wouldn't be safe
Well, yeah,
if they
yeah,
did.
exactly.
And so, again, these are adorable pictures, but I think it also starts to normalize kind of unsafe
Okay,
positioning
now look
and
how
unsafe.
Donna does it. No, hold on, let me see that pillow. What is that pillow? This is like you have on an
That's just
airplane.
what you would wear on an airplane behind your neck.
Okay, let's
what I'm
stick that
trying to
under
do
there.
is create a circular little place to place the baby. So then we put this over top. So we're basically making a hole for the baby to sit in. Again, this is a composite. This baby's head needs to be supported through the entire.
So you'll support the baby's head and limbs with your hands, and then you'll
Exactly.
erase the hands out
so
of the picture.
The baby is wrapped. Yep. Baby goes in.
Hands
Baby's
go on.
wrapped. Hands are here. And then hands are here.
Gotcha. So what we're telling you is, if your photographer is not doing it like Donna does it, get out of the studio and tell them to leave your home. They've got to be supported at all times.
And the other thing is, from my perspective, babies are cute no matter how they're posed.
Just laying
and
there.
so,
Exactly.
you know, I think maybe starting to pose them in positions that they would normally be in.
Thank you both very much. All right, Alex?
Thank you, Mike.
That was interesting. I didn't know that those photos are often composite photos where they use two different photos to bring the image together. Maybe one has the hand on the top of the head supporting the head, and one might have it below, and then you merge those two photos to get the resulting image. Interesting segment. Let's get you to two more stories here, or three more. First, happening today, and this will be some file photo from a past year, but lots of people are coming out this weekend to take part in the final Susan G. Komen 3-day in Philadelphia. Participants will walk 60 miles, all for a good cause, to help save lives and end breast cancer forever. And in Montgomery County, a surprise celebration for a Conshohocken business owner. Kimberly Geider is a mom, wife, salon owner, author, and breast cancer survivor. Last night, it was a sea of pink at her salon as loved ones partied for a cause in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. Kimberly is now 6.5 years cancer-free. It took 13 surgeries to get to this point, and Kimberly says her fight led to a newfound purpose in life.
Don't let that cancer put you down or tell you that you're no one or tell you that you're less of a woman just because you don't have breasts. You are not going to win, cancer. You are not going to win.
Kimberly says she wore pink last night in honor of her mother, who died of breast cancer at just 48 years old. And I told you a little bit earlier about this story. Read it to you, in fact. But now I have some of the sound I can provide for you. Governors from our area came together to tackle the issue of vaping and cannabis with a summit yesterday. New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut discussed ways to regulate vaping and work toward marijuana legalization. The governors say ultimately their goal is to collaborate on some kind of legislation. What they don't want is people traveling across state lines just to get vaping products or marijuana. I see this one sparked some conversation in the chat thread on our YouTube channel, so wanted to make sure I got you the full sound here from the governors, starting with Governor Murphy from New Jersey and then followed by Governor Wolf of Pennsylvania.
We've got an exploding vaping reality among youth, which has become an enormous challenge, health and beyond. And that's something I think we all share.
We need to bring this into the open. We need regulation. We need to make sure we're protecting public health, public safety, but that's regulation, not prohibition.
Again, there's no word just yet on exactly what action or steps will be taken next, but the governors are talking it out and trying to find ways, as they mentioned in the story there, to make sure people aren't crossing state lines to get access to items that could be potentially harmful, or people trying to find loopholes between the laws in different states. That's going to do it for us today on Fox 29 News Now. Hope you have enjoyed the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. Workday continues for our female astronauts high above the Earth at the International Space Station. NASA TV is broadcasting this footage if you'd like to watch more. Stay with us on the Fox 29 News at 5, 6, and 10. We'll get you updates on all the top stories. Continue to track on the weather front the possibility of Tropical Storm Nestor. Take a quick look here and make sure we haven't missed anything in terms of announcements. Looks like it is still a tropical depression in the Gulf of Mexico, but again could impact our area, bring some rain to our area Sunday and later Sunday, despite the fact that a lot of us will be watching the Eagles and Cowboys at that point. So thank you again for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here on Monday.